"We're jumping," I explained. The boy's eyes went wide. "Are you kidding?" he yelled. "We'll be killed." Max stayed in the same position, my arms wide open like I was expecting a hug. The boy, looking between jumping or staying with them, he rushed into my arms. We jumped. I made sure that I landed on my back, to keep the boy from hurting himself further. The vehicle was going at least 65 kilometers an hour, making the landing very, very hard. I smacked against the street, my back creating sparks. I bounced once, twice, 3 times before I started to skid and scream. I slowed, the friction forcing myself to roll in a fast manner. Under my arms I cradled the boy from the sparks and flying debris. We eventually rolled to a stop, smoke sizzling off the great metal. I was glad that we had stopped. If we had been going any faster, I might have lost an arm in the impact. Slowly, I opened his arms to release the boy, who was trembling uncontrollably. "Are you hurt?" I asked him. The boy shook his head. He rolled himself off me, standing up awkwardly. Although he said he was not hurt, he still got injured. The impact on the street must have forced him to bang his head against my chest, causing him to have a huge bruise across his cheek. "I can't believe you did that," the boy cried out, still wobbly from the shock. "You could have killed us both." The boy paused for a few seconds cool. I had to restrain giving the boy a look as I stood tall, checking myself over for damage or injuries. I just had a few minor scratches all over my arms, legs and probably my back too. None of which were too serious, could probably be rubbed out easily. The vehicle that we had escaped from was already forming into a small black dot in the horizon. Finally outside, I took in his environment. I looked around the town where we had just landed. Something just did not feel right, and that was far too easy. On a rooftop nearby an ape was watching ready to attack with his greenstone wahite. "Now what?" the boy asked, sounding worried. I hadn't got that far," I replied, trying to sound cheerful. It was day, but dark rainy clouds had blocked out the sun, making the wind warm and cold at the same time. It seemed they were standing right outside city limits, for I could see the tall buildings from far away as he stood on a highway. The highway in question was empty. No car could be seen or heard. Not even trash like old wheels or thrown soda cups laid on the side. Not even a cigarette butt. I looked to the city, looked to the sky, and realized there were no signs or life. No birds, no trash, nobody. Even the city that lay only a few kilometers away looking dark and uninviting, a mist of human life. Why? My thoughts were broken when the boy tugged impatiently on my arm. "Come on," he cried out, trying to get me to move. "If we're caught here after sundown, then we're dead. The aid they will kill whatever is out here. They don't care for human or animal life." To be continued.